Would you say you have any specific hidden talents that we might not be aware of?
Hidden talents. Yeah, really not too much that I can mention on camera.
And you are?
Scott Gaynor.
And what role do you play in Waiting for Ray?
So for Waiting for A, I am the guitar player. I also sing, so vocals, right? I also look at myself as the band leader, producer, arranger, all of that fun stuff. So a lot of behind the scenes work from me.
And is that the same for the full band Waiting for Ray versus the acoustic with an attitude?
Yes, very similar.
And what are the primary instruments that you play in both bands?
So primarily I'm a guitar player. I also do vocals, as I mentioned, some keyboards in the acoustic band. I also play cajon, which is this really cool box for percussion.
And when did you first start playing music?
Boy, I first started when I was 5 years old. My family had this really cool, and I wish we still had a very cool air organ. So you would turn this thing on and it would start humming, and there was maybe 3 octaves of keys available on this thing. But I was 5 years old, and my dad brought it out, and I was just infatuated with the ability to press a key down and hear a particular note. So I had worked out just a lot of my own little melodies at that point. But really took off similar to Bobby when Star Wars first came out. Right, it was a '77, so I was 7 years old, and the ability to be able to play the melody, the Star Wars theme song on the keyboard. Right, I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Right, and that really lit this musical fire in me that still burns pretty strong here today.
Who would you say are some of your biggest musical influences?
Biggest musical influences, I would say my father, first and foremost. He's also a fantastic musician, but he was also very supportive. I learned a lot about just music in general from him. I also was a guitar player, right? So that was one of the things that I had picked up from him, but also learned keyboards and several other things. We always had several instruments laying around the house, and it was a very musical family, and that's really what got us started. So my father being my first musical influence, right? Behind him is Tony Genflone Jr., who's really good friend of mine today, who is a fantastic guitar player and one of my early guitar teachers, and he just had a way of understanding and looking at music that was different than anything I experienced, and that alone really sort of ignited a whole different area for me when it comes to music theory and those types of things. So I got really studious from a music standpoint after my time and during my time with Tony. Aside from that, Pat Metheny was one of my musical influences from a guitar player perspective. I also like a lot of orchestral music from the film world. So James Horner is a big influence of mine. Hans Zimmer. And then, of course, Randy Rhoads. Bob mentioned Randy Rhoads in his discussion. Randy Rhoads is one of my all-time favorites. And then Yngwie Malmsteen as well. So we really lumped those couple guitar players in there. There's so many incredible musicians. It's really hard to pinpoint and pick a specific, but that's it for me.
Is there any one of those particular musicians that you have in a picture frame hanging over the mantle in your living room?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is one who resides over my mantle is Yngwie Malmsteen, if you can believe it. So that's the kind of house you're walking into if you ever come here, right? Yngwie Malmsteen over a mantle.
What guitar is he holding?
See, Yngwie played a Fender Stratocaster, so he has the Duck, which is one of his famous guitars, which I love.
So tell us about any particular song that you love the most performing with the band.
My favorite song, both for acoustic and electric, is probably Machine Head from Bush. Really? Yeah, surprisingly. Maybe surprisingly. I don't know. It's got a lot of good energy. The song itself is really intense. It's got a good energy. I love the guitar part in it. In our acoustic group, we've got a pretty unique arrangement of that song, which I think is also really cool.
And is there any particular song that you just wish that the band would do?
Nothing specific. We kind of do all the songs, at least within the genres that we focus on. I would like to get into doing some more creative arrangements of like the new metal era. We do a Breaking Benjamin song, which I really think is cool. There's several other bands in that era that I think did some really cool stuff in the mid 2000s that I would love for us to have the opportunity to kind of revisit and present in our way.
Any particular bands?
Breaking Benjamin, Linkin Park, 3 Days Grace. It's probably the top of the list. Evanescence, maybe. It's another one that
Good
kind of,
choices.
yeah.
So tell us, Scott, what is your onstage vibe like?
My onstage vibe. Well, I have a lot to do with our bands. So I guess first and foremost, I really want our fans to come and have a good time, forget about their problems, and feel like they are part of the party, right? So I try to be as fun and engaging as I can from that perspective. That's what I try to do. As I mentioned, I do have a lot of work to do back there. So sometimes, similar to Bobby, right? There's a lot of thinking that I've got to go through to kind of keep everything together. But that's how I look at myself from a performance standpoint. And that really applies to both the acoustic band as well as the full band.
And how does that contrast to your vibe off stage?
Off stage, well, I like to have a good time, but generally speaking, I'm a pretty serious guy. And I'm all about the mission at hand, whatever it might be, that's going on in life, right? So I'm really focused on the things that we've got going on. But I try to do that in the most fun way I possibly can.
Tell us some fun fact that people might not know about you.
Well, I'm also an accomplished orchestral composer. So I actually studied the music composition in school, in addition to engineering. Uh, I I loved it. I love the film music component of music kind of creation. One of the things that I'm pretty proud of that I just don't talk about that often is that I had competed 3 different years in the International Young Film Composers Competition when I was younger, and I placed in the top 5. This is over international, right? This is like 500 applicants, right, in the top 5 for those 3 years. So I'm pretty proud of getting to that point with the music that I was creating at the time. But that is something that I really don't talk about too much these days, but important to me and a big part of my musical life.
Would you say you have any specific hidden talents that we might not be aware of?
Hidden talents. Yeah, really not too much that I can mention on camera. Bob's helping me out with that one. I love you, man. But I am an engineer, and I am, pretty serious problem solver, right? So that's probably
Engineer by trade.
in the engineer by trade.
What type of engineering?
I'm an electrical engineer.
You are an electrical engineer. Yes, you are. So tell us a little bit about how you were in high school.
High school, kind of quiet, nerdy. I was did pretty well in school. School work actually came pretty easy to me. I did spend a lot of time during my high school years working on my music and guitar playing. So a lot of people didn't see me for long periods of time, but that's because I was in the woodshed banging away at my guitar. So
That's not what most people are typically in the
That's true.
woodshed banging away.
it's true. It's very true. But that was definitely me.
That's funny. Okay, first concert.
Iron Maiden, Power Slave,
Wow.
1984.
I was
Four?
born then.
No.
No, it was
5?
85 maybe.
85 maybe.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was 86. It might have been 85.
What?
We're gonna have to fact check that one.
Concert.
That was number 1.
Any concerts you wish you could have gone to?
I was at that concert with you, Scott.
Did you really?
I was somewhere in
It's good.
Angelina. Same
That's
time.
didn't accept. Or was that Crocus? I
I
forget.
think it was Accept.
Accept. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. It was a good concert. Which is the question?
Yeah. Any concerts you wish you could have gone to?
Oh yes, Ozzy Osbourne with Randy Rhoads. Similar. I just I missed. I really came to know and love hard rock guitars after he had passed, and I really wish I had the opportunity to see him live.
Favorite movie?
Lord of the Rings, all three of them.
Yes, they're so great. Favorite food?
Pizza.
Favorite drink?
Any drink?
Favorite non-alcoholic beverage?
Non-alcoholic.
Favorite alcoholic
Uh,
beverage?
Maybe water.
I could have a V8.
Favorite cocktail?
I love a nice bourbon.
Tell us a little bit about how Waiting for Ray came to be.
Waiting for Ray. So it's actually a pretty good story. So way back in 2000 something. You remember what year? What 2008? Was that?
Yeah.
So Bobby and I met up at a Poison concert of all places. It's not usually a concert that I would be at, but
One I definitely would be.
one that Bobby definitely would be. And to be honest with you, I had some of the greatest time at that concert. It was just a blast. But in typical tailgating form, we were talking about music, and I met Bobby for the first time. And we were like, yeah, man, we should start a band, right? How many times does that conversation happen at a tailgating party, right? Probably a bazillion times, but we actually did it. So we actually formed a band. We got together probably a month or two after that. It was initially going to be just to play a few songs at a party, which we did, and it was a blast. And we just kind of got the bug after that and turned it into what it is today. I mean, over several years, but it was a fun evolution. But that's where it all
Tell
started.
us about the name of the band.
So, Waiting for Ray was named at early on in our existence. It might have been before that party that we played, right? Because I think we had a name by the time we got to there. So, what are we going to call ourselves? And Ray, my brother, who I love very much with all my heart, was often late for practices, and he would be upset with me if I didn't add that he did work in Cheswick and we practiced it in Washington, right? So this is quite a haul that he had to get across the city, and I get it, right? I mean, I love you, man. But
That was a hell of a commute. That
we were trying to name the band, and we were very specific. We got to come up with the name of the band. Everyone did their homework. Everybody brought in some of their suggestions, and we wanted everybody to be there before we got started. So we were hanging out, waiting for Ray. And when Ray showed up, we told him what the name of the band was. And the rest is history.
How did he feel about that?
He actually thought it was a really good idea, and it was really funny. Which it wasn't like he was adamantly against it or anything. He thought it was great, and still to this day, well, he will give you his opinion. It really does kind of fit the vibe, and it certainly fit the vibe that we had going on at the time, and it's a great story.
What favorite memory do you have, or inside joke possibly, from all the years with the band?
Boy, I think back, and Bobby, you might remember this. Ray probably does not. But we would practice. We were practicing at the time, rehearsing in Washington, PA. And there was this bar close by that we used to like to hang out with. It was Augie's at the time, turned to Frankie Eyes probably around that time. And we would give Ray a call. Ray, what time are you thinking you're in? He's going to be here an hour. Jeff and I, we're heading to the bar. So it was right next to his house, which is where we were rehearsing. And we would hang out there and get updates from Ray. The longer Ray would be in arriving rehearsal, the more beers we might have. And then there was this one time where, I don't know, he must have been like 2 hours late, and we showed up. Do you remember us? I think we actually called Bobby, and Bobby joined us too. And we got to their house, and Jeff's wife was really upset with us at all the noise that we made when we came in, and we were banging stuff around, and uh, you know, it didn't end super well, but we did have a great time, and it's actually one of my fondest memories of us getting together at the early days.
Do you have any pre-show rituals, anything you like to do right before you go on stage?
Probably nothing unusual. I do have some vocal and voice warm-ups. I've got a lot of stretching. The older you get, the more you got to stretch. Um, Really nothing else beside that.
What is the most madness, crazy thing you've ever seen happen at one of your shows?
So being in a rock band, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens, right? Maybe I'll say a couple here that we can actually talk about. So for me personally, right, it's like the Spinal Tap moments. I think those are the funny ones to talk about. I did dislocate my finger one time. We were playing, I can't remember where it was at, maybe Jay's, which is now Bubba's, South Point. And we were playing on the stage, and it was a real bouncy stage. So as we're playing, the microphones are kind of swaying back and forth, and our monitors were swaying back and forth. Where our monitor started to tip over, and I reached down and I grabbed it and I put it back in place. Well, somehow I had dislocated my finger at the time, and mid-song, we're playing, we're rocking hard. I pick up my hand, and my finger's sticking out sideways. And I got my guitar on, so I'm supposed to be playing guitar. My finger's sticking out sideways, right? And I kind of popped it back in place in true Spinal Tap form. Finished the song, we finished the set, and the rest is history. But we still have this video that I had pulled up where I go, holy crap. Fingers all sticking out sideways, but I recovered okay from that too, and could still play perfectly fine. That was a pretty crazy moment that we did.
Must go on, right?
Yeah. When we were done, I went and I got some ice out of the freezer and put some ice in my hand, and it ended up being okay. But it took a little. I may have laid off the guitar maybe for a couple weeks after that, but it ended up being okay. So that was actually a good one. Another one is a time that we were playing, and he plays these basses. They're excellent basses, but he's always struggled with the strap connection on the upper horn. So we were playing at a show one time, and if you've seen us play with the full band, Ray is just a machine on this bass, especially when we get into the Chili Peppers and songs like that. And he is just wailing away, probably doing a bunch of slapping and popping and kick-ass bass riffs. And his bass just drops from his strap again. Well, without missing a beat, I swoop up behind Ray, recognizing this is going on, and I'm able to put my arms around there and pick up his bass to put it right back in playing position again. And Ray was able to hammer out the rest of the song while I was holding his bass behind him. And it was just... What amazed me is just how like lockstep we were, right? Somehow I was able to recognize the situation that he was in at the absolute right time, and we were able to save the song. So it was pretty good.
What do you love the most about performing with this band?
So there's so much good stuff that comes with actually playing in a rock band. But I'd have to say, for me personally, it is being able to spend as much time as I am able to with my best friends, right? So my brother, my family, my beautiful wife, best friend Bobby, and Keith. And it's just amazing to be able to spend this time together. And that's my favorite part. Playing the music is great, but we spend a lot of time together, and it's fantastic.
Walk us through some of your main gear setups for both versions of the band.
Okay, so for acoustic, I play Ovation guitars. I have several guitars that look very similar. I'm actually going to get into, I get lots of questions about these guitars, so in the future I'm going to get into a little bit more detail video talking about those. But I do love them. I do a lot of customization for myself on those, and they sound great and play great. I also, on the floor, there's actually several things that I use, but predominantly it is the Fractal Axe Effects on the floor, which gives me access to several different tones and effects. For the full band, Charvel Jackson guitars, I love them. I have a very similar passion for those instruments as I do for the Ovation acoustics that I play. I also do several customizations, and I also use the Fractal Axe effects for all my electronics and tones.
Out of all of the equipment that you own, what is your favorite piece?
It's really, really difficult. I mean, do you have a favorite kid? Right? It's really hard to pick. So I do have one acoustic that I really, really love. It's number one, if you can imagine that's what I call it. Number one is just fantastic. There's just everything about this particular Ovation. It might look exactly like all the other ones, but it is not, which I love. I also there's actually probably 3 or 4 of my Charvel Jacksons that have various sentimental and performance meaning to me, and I love them. So those are probably the number one.
What's your most frustrating piece of gear? You throw it in the river.
Most of my frustrating gear I have already thrown in the river, so I don't have any really in my setup right now. Music like anything, and playing instruments like anything, right? There's a lot of experimenting you have to go through in order to find what you want. So there's definitely been a lot of equipment that's come in and out of my life before I settled in on what I have now. But I don't have anything at the moment, fortunately, that I don't want to throw in the river, that I do want to throw in the river.
Acoustic with an attitude. Describe that in 3 words.
Bob, Scott, and Sarah.
Nice,
Bob, Scott, and Sarah.
You're not wrong, Bob.
Okay.
You're not wrong.
Okay. Fun, intimate, and engaging. Those are the 3 words I pick for acoustic with the attitude.
And what about the full band?
Intense, powerful, party.
Nice. If you could give all of your bandmates a superpower, what would they be and why?
Okay, excellent. I have some notes for these I'm going to consult.
Okay.
So here are my superpowers for the band. Sarah, I would bestow on her Jedi mind trick. These are not the droids you're looking for. This would be very helpful for us, and because she loves me, she would hopefully not use it so much on me. But it would be very helpful with Sarah having Jedi mind trick. Bobby, superhuman strength. He's pretty much there already. If you would see us have to lug around all this equipment that we do, you would appreciate Bobby's superhuman strength. Keith, I give time travel. He may be able to do some really cool rhythmic things by moving people in and around time. It would also give him the chance to hang out with Bonzo and some of his bands from the 70s that I know he really loved. So that was another reason why I gave Keith time travel. So. Ray, again, I have some notes on this. This is way too complicated to try to remember. Ray, I give him lightning bolts from his fingers. Really because I think he would think it's cool. And it could come in handy at some point. So that's what it is.
Which bandmate would most likely survive a zombie apocalypse?
I would have to say Ray, because he's really healthy and he has those lightning bolt fingers, right? I mean, it's a pretty good way to be able to prevent zombies from attacking you, I think.
And conversely, which bandmate would start the zombie apocalypse?
I'd probably also have to say Ray. Nothing really specific. These things just kind of happen to him. You know.
That's fair.
Especially when you get a band named after you.
Especially when you got a band named after you, yeah.
Oh my God. Wonderful interview, Scott. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell your fans?
I just want to thank everybody for hanging with us. We actually been doing this for a really long time, and we've had a blast. And there's no sign of us stopping or slowing down. So thank you for being there with us, and we're looking forward to spending more time with you in the future.